fourth time this month, Iranian installations in Syria have been targeted by unidentified aircraft, which the Damascus regime was once again quick to attribute to the Israeli Air Force. U.S. President Donald Trump reveals that during next week's ceremony, in which Jerusalem and Abu Dhabi will sign a peace accord at the White House, another country may join the event to normalize relations with Jerusalem. Turkey fails to convince the European Union to abandon its member states Greece and Cyprus as tensions in the eastern Mediterranean escalate further. For the fourth time this month, the Iranian installations in Syria have been targeted by 1:30 a.m. last night. Numerous precision-guided missiles appeared over the skies of Aleppo Governorate with a pinpointed trajectory, evidently targeting the Scientific Studies and Research Center in the area of Al-Safira, which is situated southeast of Aleppo city. Syrian aerial defense batteries responded to the incoming missiles, yet according to several reports which TV7 was unable to corroborate, a number of the projectiles were successfully intercepted. It is important to mention that the targeted area, which had been subject to previous attacks, is known to host numerous Iranian proxy installations, including the Refer 2 Scientific Studies and Research Center, where according to Western intelligence sources, so-called statistical missiles are being converted into precision-guided munitions, among other military-related activities. However, there are no immediate reports on the scope of the damage that was caused as a result of last night's attack, and while Syria insists that Israel was behind the aerial strike, the IDF spokesperson's unit did not confirm nor deny its involvement in response to TV7's request for comment. Turning to the Persian Gulf, where the Iranian military is currently holding a wide-scale exercise in a large maritime region reaching from the Sea of Oman to the North Indian Ocean. During the three-day exercise, the Iranian military is seemingly making extensive overt efforts to flex its muscles in the face of foreign deterrents by global and regional adversaries that are deployed in the region, most notably the United States. Iranian military spokesman Commodore Shahram Irani was quoted by domestic media as saying, foreign manned and unmanned aircraft had been cautioned on Wednesday to avoid the exercises taking place over 2 million square kilometers of ocean. He further claimed in his statement that the U.S. Navy changed its behavior after receiving the Iranian warning. The U.S. Fifth Fleet, which is stationed in the area, did not immediately respond to TV7's request for comment. On another yet related note, Iran announced its participation in a joint military exercise in southern Russia later this month, dubbed Caucus 2020, which will also include the participation of the Chinese and Pakistani militaries, among others. Turning now to Washington, where U.S. President Donald Trump reiterated
UAE and Israel, and we could have another country added into that, and I will tell you, countries are lining up that want to go into it. So I think what ultimately will happen is you're going to have quite a few countries come in. The big ones are going to be coming in. I spoke to the King of Saudi Arabia, so we just started the dialogue.
The American leader further asserted that in light of the growing number of nations that seek peace with Israel, the Palestinians will ultimately get back into the fold.
The Palestinians will get back into the fold, and when they see all of these countries that frankly have been supporters of the Palestinians, very big supporters and certainly financial supporters. As you know, we used to pay the Palestinians $750 million a year, and I ended that some time ago on the basis that they didn't seem to want to make peace, and we'll think about it once we have a deal, but I've ended that quite a while ago. I'm frankly surprised they haven't been to the table earlier.
Trump also claimed that if he is reelected in the upcoming presidential elections scheduled for November 3rd, the Islamic Republic of Iran will see no other way but to return to the negotiating table.
If we win the election, Iran will come and sign a deal with us very, very rapidly within the first, I would say, week, but let's give ourselves a month, because their GDP went down 25%, which is like an unheard of number. and they'd like to be able to get back to having a successful country again.
Turning now to Brussels.